Welcome back, guys. Yes, with Matrix uploaded and cash budgets. We're getting into the budget itself now. So, I need your mind, your body, and your soul. That's right. Pay attention. Watch what we're going to be doing. Number one, you're going to prepare a debtors collection schedule. Now, critical to this year is in order to determine or in order to calculate a debtors collection schedule, it is dependent on credit sales. That's it. You got to first work out your credit sales, because remember, when we sell on credit to our debtors, that is going to determine our debtors collection schedule. So what will this give you? This will give you an indication of how your debtors are paying you, so you will follow a debtors collection pattern, and therefore you will then determine the amount that is actually collected from your debtors. Okay, so you've got your debtors collection schedule, and that will directly impact on the cash from your debtors. Now, if you're looking at a monthly cash budget, obviously your receipts, amongst others, would include your cash sales. Obviously, that you're receiving cash. You're receiving cash from your debtors, which I've explained to you already. And then other cash receipts. Okay, so this is just a brief summary of the types of receipts that you could get. What are they? Think of a few. Rent income, interest on fixed deposit. These are just other receipts other than cash sales and cash from debtors. Obviously, you can add much more to that list. Now we come to our cash payments. And amongst our cash payments, we have our cash purchases, we have our payments to our creditors, and then a broad category of other cash payments. Here again, the list is endless. You can go in and look at the number of payments that you could have under other cash payments. Like what? Like paying for rent, buying stationery for cash. But remember, when you're doing a budget, think cash. Why? It's a cash budget that you are preparing, and therefore, critical is think cash. Okay? So you take your receipts, subtract your payments. Okay, that would either give you a surplus or a shortfall, depending. If your receipts are greater, definitely a surplus. If your payments are greater, definitely a shortfall. You then take your opening bank balance, beginning of the month, and that would then determine your closing bank balance. Okay, so that's just in short a very summarized version of what a monthly cash budget would be. If we delve a bit deeper into the creditor's payment schedule, remember we said that cost of sales is equal to purchases. What is the proviso? We are maintaining base stock level. In other words, what we buy is what we have sold. So therefore, the cost of sales will be equal to our purchases. Now, again, you'll have a payment period with your creditors. There will be a proviso given to you as to how you must pay your creditors, and that will then determine the amount paid to our creditors. As you can see, like we said, the debtors collection schedule fitted into my cash receipts from my debtors. And by the same way, the payment made to our creditors will be determined by our creditors' payment schedule. Important to remember that cost of sales is equal to purchases. What's the condition? We're maintaining base stock. Right, okay. Let's take an example here. Let us calculate the cost of sales if the selling price is given to you. There's my selling price of 18,000 Rand. What else do I know? I say use the following to determine your cost of sales. And this will be applicable to other sections in accounting as well. Your cost price is 100. Your markup is 80. Therefore, your selling price is 180. Very simple. cost plus markup is equal to my selling. So this is where you are given a markup on cost. Remember that. Okay, so now what do you need to calculate? You now need to calculate the cost price. Watch the formula. Cost price over selling price. And what do we take here? What do we want? We want the cost price. And what we want, we put on top. Not inside, on top. There's it, the cost price. Over my selling price times my actual selling price. And how do you remember this here? How do you remember this? ASP, easy guys, Ashraf Patel, actual selling price. Here goes. Cost is 100, selling 180 from my formula times my actual selling price, which is 18,000, and this is what we get, 10,000 Rand as our cost price. So definitely what you can see is that if you need to work out the cost of sales, yes, the trading stock account is critical. Sometimes we have to use the trading stock account. Why? Because our cost of sales, remember, would be determined by what we had bought. So yes, keep this in mind. Keep your trading stock in front of you, because sometimes you may have to use this trading stock account in order to determine your cost of sales. And once you determine your cost of sales, you would then break up your purchases into cash purchases and credit purchases. I am sure it's becoming clearer to you now. Remember, let's summarize what we did in this segment here. In order to draw up your cash budget, you need to do a debtors collection schedule, which is determined by your credit sales, and then your creditors payment, which is determined by your purchases. Right, guys, you've learnt a lot in this segment. Digest it, take a break. You'll be back with Matrix Uploaded and Ashraf Patel in a jiffy.